Hey, Daniel Byrne, MetabolicMotivation.com. I want to take a few questions that have come in numerous times and just go ahead and answer them here. So this is a question from Sally in the Bay Area, and she writes, Dan, can you please explain a little bit about what causes food cravings and what I can do to sort of manage the food cravings, because it's a big problem for me. Okay, so Sally, that's a great question. It's one I get a lot of times from many people. It's one that's actually a very common problem, and I think there's a number of factors. Number one is we need to understand that food biochemically communicates with our body, with our cells, and even with our DNA, and that's been proven through the science of epigenetics, which if you want to look back at the Nobel Science Prize just a few years ago, which was won by some scientists from the Bay Area, I believe, and that goes into much more detail about epigenetics. So it's very important to realize that food affects our hormones, and hormones also affect our moods. Now, what are some of the things that can cause food cravings and can affect our hormones? Well, sugar would be certainly one of them. Most of the processed foods that we're given today through the food industry has a lot of added sugar. It may be corn syrup, it may be other disguised with other names, but that will affect the reason it will affect us because it ramps up the glucose level. The body then secretes insulin, and it tends to overcompensate and pull down the blood sugar level too much, so that can cause cravings. Another thing that can cause them is MSG. Now, MSG is typically known as being a chemical additive in typically Chinese food, but it also has been added to a lot of other areas, non-Chinese foods as well. And the reason is if you're selling food or food products, even artificial food products, and if you can create cravings for those products, guess what? You're going to sell more, and that's what has happened in many cases. So so what's the solution? Well, Sally, the solution is, number one, avoid sugar as much as possible. I would say really limit it and see how you react to it. I know some people need to really avoid it totally. Other people can take a limited amount. But keep in mind, we're eating more sugar now in 1 week than most humans have eaten in the past in a whole year. And that's being very conservative. So number two is avoid chemical additives. It's much better to eat real food than it is to eat processed foods and fast foods and all that. And so that's the 2 tips of the day with food craving. All right, please send your questions in to us here at Metabolic Motivation, and we'll look forward to learning more and hearing more from you. Thanks.